I vanished from the UK and woke up in Nigeria. My shocking story. Today we are hearing the story of a Nigerian who ended up back in Nigeria after living in the UK. Akim, can you please tell us, are you currently in the UK or where are you?
I'm currently in Nigeria now. I left the UK December last year.
Okay. So how did you move to the UK?
Okay, I got admitted to study at the University of Dundee. So I did all the requirement, all the processes, and that was how I came to the UK.
Okay, and did you come as a on a master's degree program?
Yes, I came on a degree program student visa. Yes, that's
Which
where I came.
university?
The University of Dundee, Scotland, UK.
Okay. Did you come alone?
No, I came with my wife. I came with my wife. We didn't actually come the same day. She came like 4 days due to flights and rearrangement and all that. She came 4 days after my arrival.
And your wife, how long have you guys known each other before you came to the UK together?
A little bit over 13, 14 years. Like over 13, 14 years now that we have known each other.
You have any children together?
Yes, we have four children. Three boys and a girl. The girl is the second born. The boy is the first born.
Okay, let's talk about how you and your wife decided to move to the UK. Can you talk us through how that decision was made?
Okay, personally, because of the nature of my work, I've been longing to to travel out on my own, to read further, to have better education on my own. But I around the maybe late 2021 to 2022, my wife started talking to me about coming to the UK and even bringing her to the UK, coming together, then bringing her, and then that was why I started looking for admission. I spoke to some of my friends that are already in the UK, and they mentioned two universities to me which I applied to. One for social work and one for social research, because I study human geography both for my first and second degree. So, and where I was working as a social specialist. I was working as a social person. I was in charge of the social unit of a project. So that was and it was my wife's idea. She told me that our children are going to have better life, which I also believed. Then that her own life too can improve, that she can even support me in my in taking care of the family, financially and some other things, and I believed her. So the plan started earnestly. I have a Lexus 330 Jeep 2005 model. I have to sell it. I also have all my house property. I have to sell them just for us to come to the UK. So that's how we came to the UK, October 2023.
So you mentioned that your wife was the one that collected the visa. Okay, when you guys were coming, did you come with your children to the UK?
No, we didn't come with our children, but she saw the idea of taking our children to our mother in Otupo in Nigeria. Meanwhile, I was of the opinion, because Otupo is quite far from Ibadan where we reside. So I was of the opinion that we should let our children stay with us, stay in Ibadan, where we bring a very close family friend that is well known to both of us to come and stay with them. But she refused. So that was how we have to take the children to our mother's place in Otupo.
So the initial plan was for the children to live with a family friend, but your wife later changed the plan and said she
Yes.
wanted them to live with her mother in Otupo in Benue State.
Yes, sir. And then she changed the plan, and she was very strategic about that changing of that plan. Strategic in the sense that before now, we have already discussed and concluded about it. So because I work outside where we reside, the town we reside in Nigeria. So I went to work on a Monday morning after we have decided, we have discussed it. So when I came back in the course of that week, our visa came from Lagos, TLS came to Ibadan, and they called me for my important letter mail parcel, which I called my wife. I linked the DHL guy up with my wife and the office, so she went to collect it. I already knew that it was our visa because I was checking it online, so I knew that it was my visa they are calling me for. So I asked her to go on my behalf since I won't arrive until late night or in the evening of Friday. So she went there, she collected it, she opened the parcel, she saw her visa and my own visa, and she took her own in her hand. Then when I came on Friday, she told me, she didn't even tell me while I was coming and while I was staying, because we were having different conversations about our traveling and all that. She didn't discuss changing of our mind. But when I got to our house in the same southwest part of Nigeria, she told me that she has something important to tell me. She has something important. I said, what was that? She told me that she cannot allow somebody to come and stay with her children, and that it's better she take her children to her mother in Otupo, that is her mother late, is her mother died, that kind of stuff. And I said, that that Otupo is far from where we are in the southwestern part of Nigeria here, that because of, security reasons on the road, kidnappers and all sort of it, and people will blame me if anything, bad happened to you guys, the 5 of you on the road, you and 4 children, and they will blame me that what kind of a man I am, that this person has already agreed, and this person is well known to you, and you even know her, and you like her, and she like you. This particular family friend knew you very well. She said no, she flared up and she was all over me. No. At the end of the day, I have to agree. And that was how we now took the children to our mother in Otupo.
Do you think that your wife came up with that plan to take the children to her mother because she was in possession of the passport and visa?
I suspected so because she was around that time that we are planning our traveling. She was all lovable, she was all nice and all kind, since I've already told her that we are coming together, and she knew I wasn't deceiving her. But that changed. I think that changed. And another thing I've also observed was that, she's the type that discuss all our matters with her 3 senior sisters and her mother. Nothing. It's as if there's nothing about my life that she does not discuss with. So I think it's an internal influence that no, we will not be sending money to family friend, and the person, all those things that you are going to benefit. I think it has to do with economic benefits. That I will be sending money, she'll be sending money, that that economic benefit, or whoever is taking care of our children is going to come to our own side and all that. And I think that's to be due to selfish reasons unknown to me.
Okay. So you mentioned that you were the one that sponsored your wife education in Nigeria. Can you talk us through that, please?
So when I was about getting married to her, one of the conditions the mother, it was in Otupo, the mother called me to their parlor, and it was in Otupo, and she told me that my daughter had so many suitors, but she's the one that had been supporting her marrying me, especially that one of the conditions, that because she wants her daughter to go to school, that I have to promise her that once she get married to me, I'll put her in school, which I promptly agreed to. That it does not, that putting her in school is not just going to be beneficial to her, it's going to be beneficial to me, even the children we are going to give birth to at the end of the day, because there's going to be a difference between a way that a married woman, an educated woman will take care of her children, she'll be more enlightened and all that than one that doesn't have education. There's a difference between in the ways they will bring up their children. So I supported her, and immediately that same year we got married, 2011, I enrolled her in a school, a polytechnic, because she actually went to a polytechnic for her OND in Kogi State.
Okay.
So I put her in a school in Abeokuta, when she had her HND.
So you met your wife when she 23 years old, no education. You sponsored her through education until she got her HND service, and you were the one that stood by her. You sold your properties, your Lexus car, you got the visa, and you paid for everything. Your wife arrived in the UK 4 days after you arrived in the UK. Is that correct?
It's correct, sir.
What was the reason for bringing your wife to the UK with you?
Okay, my major reason was that she's going to be supportive, like she promised me. She's going to be supportive in assisting me, maybe payment of children's school fees, then in supporting the children too in our mother's custody, while I, with the 20 hours restricted hours I'm allowed to work, I'll be paying the school fee. So and I'll be paying the house rent. I mean, so and I paid the house rent. I was responsible for the house rent from when we came until October last year, when she moved out of the apartment and she moved to the another city where she works.
Okay. So the picture here, this is Veronica. Veronica, this is your wife, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when she arrived in the UK, when did you started noticing changes in her?
Okay. Because well, when she arrived in the UK, 10 days after her arrival, she arrived on the 6th. And 10 days after her arrival, I think somewhere around October 16th, she got job with a meat factory. That was where she first worked before she got a care company. I was one that applied for that care company for her, or Indeed. There's an Indeed app that we normally use in the UK. So I designed a CV for her and I applied for her and she got that. They call that place Locanty. Locanty is like a small village under Perth. Under Perth. It's a small village under Perth. So, and Perth is another city in Scotland. So I noticed, because when we came, we were staying with a friend of mine. We stayed there for a month before we moved out, because of, they need their privacy too and all that. So when we got to the hostel, because that year that we came to the UK was the year, there was a lot of people and accommodation was very, very scarce. So I have no option, because hostel was very expensive. But I have no option than to take. People were sleeping on the street at the bus stop and all that in Dundee. So I had no option than to take the hostel. So it was expensive. So when we got to the hostel, I noticed a change in her. The first change I noticed was greeting. She would wake up beside me from the bed. Well, of course, we were in the same room as couple. She would wake up beside me from the bed and she would not greet me. I noticed that trend. And then one day I called her that, Veronica, at least you greet before you start conversation with me in the morning. Why are you not? He said, no, that I should better change my ideology, that this is the UK. What is this old archaic idea? I need to just work on myself and, I said, no, but it shows upbringing and good upbringing. We greet ourselves, we pray about our plans, about our children that we're planning to bring, and all that. We start conversation. It doesn't reduce you. It's even, you are going to even gain more of my respect. She said, no, she cannot be kneeling down, she cannot be greeting me. So that was how that conversation, and the trend continued. And I kept mum, but in my mind, I wasn't happy about it.
Okay. So you said that your wife gave you sexually transmitted disease. How did that happen?
Okay, well, around August, since around May last year, when we finished paying the school fees, she supported me actually. We finished paying the school fees, and she told me from now onward she wants to start saving for the bringing of our children. That she's not going to contribute anything, she's not going to support me. All the money she's working, she wants to use it to bring our children, support me in bringing our children. Which I say fine, but even while bringing our children, myself and yourself, we should live peacefully. We should enjoy ourselves. We should. So, but she doesn't even care about my feelings. She will go. One day she told me that she will not be coming home because where she was working in Perth, by then she has already gotten another care home, a COS offering care home where she's in Perth. So she told me that boss normally arrive late on weekends. So she will look for a friend at place of work that she will be putting up with for Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, then Sunday evening after her shift she will come. But I realized that she will not come on that Sunday evening. The following day, which is Monday, she will still not come. Then she will not come early in the morning on Tuesday morning. Then she will come and enter our room without any explanation as per what kept her from coming. Then she told me that I was one that's supposed to call her when I didn't see her. I said, no, you are the one that is not come. You're supposed to have told me, call me. What is holding you back from coming home? But she will just argue it out, and that's it. Then the relation becomes so strained. I was on my own. I was always in the library. If the library does not close, they know me. All my friends at the University of Dundee, they knew me. I'm always in the library. If the library does not close, I will not close the library. They have to practically chase all of us out before I leave the library every day. And then during the exam, the library work 24/7. So sometimes I will just put up in the library. I will just go back home to brush my teeth and take my bath, and I will return back to the library. I thank God because I was rewarded with a very with a
Is that power supply?
Yeah, power supply issue.
Okay,
So
don't worry.
I was rewarded with very good result at the end of the day. But I was always at the library, and so one day I realized that she was planning behind me to bring our children to the UK and all that. Because I saw our children's international passport in her bag and I removed them. So she was very angry with me that day. To cut a long story short, that particular day, which is August 22nd last year, she moved out of the room to the another room within the flat where our co-tenant already moved out around May. So we were just living as co-tenant at that stage. We were living as co-tenant. Myself and herself were not talking. It's only then we have even separated our pots and plates and all that. So we're just living like that. And around September, exactly after a month when she separated from me, she came to meet me and begged me. So I said, no problem. Let's just watch ourselves. If we can even live happily together for a week, then we can start our conversation and continue from there. But it never happened. It never happened. That same day, I was at the library when she called me again. That I need to call more and all that. To cut a long story short, I made love to her that night, that on the September last year, and 3 days after, I noticed a kind of a slippery substance around my private area, and I have to come and meet her. That look at what happened to me. She said, that she contracted it from where she had gone to work in that means she was even aware about it, that she went to work in a factory, that maybe that's when she contracted, and she has already gone to a pharmacy within the city center called Boots to talk to the pharmacist, and this is the cream that they gave her, a whitish cream, smallish like this, that they gave her to rub, and it has been very effective. So I took the cream from her and I applied it on my private area, and I felt a little bit relief. So at a point the following day, she said, "Oh, you are using this thing too much, that she won't give me again." I said, "Whoa, wow." So I took the picture of the stuff and took it to pharmacy, and they gave me free of charge. So that was how I used the cream to cure it. Actually, she told me it is toilet disease. But when I explained to some of my friends that they are into medicine, they told me that it's not toilet disease, that this is actually, STI, So that was that about that.
You mentioned that before when you arrived in the UK that you noticed that your wife stopped having sex with you.
Okay.
And
Yes, because yes, because then when we arrived at the UK, then the couple that we stay in their place, they gave us a room to us. Although they have two kids, so they shared that one because it was a 2-bedroom flat. So they shared the room with their 2 kids. Actually, that room that they gave us used to be their children's room, but they gave it to us, and their children were staying with them. So we know that we cannot be having anything that kind of accommodation. So when we go to the hostel, where it wasn't really the way it's supposed to be, but because we're just managing. Then when we now go to the normal accommodation on our own, then she told me that because that room is as if it was divided, like the way the UK houses used to be. So when they're having conversation in that room, we normally hear, especially if they didn't lower their voice, we'll be hearing their conversation. I mean, our co-tenants then. So she told me that that means wherever we'll be having in our own apartment, so that those people will be hearing. So that was a reason that she normally refused me in. But I told her that, but those ones too, they are also adult and they are couple. They knew that as husband and wife, we will do these things. So even if they hear our noise, it's part of it. It's part of, it's what you cannot avoid. It's all about our happiness. It's our happiness that matters to us. She will say, no, no, she cannot. And that was it. And I wasn't happy. Almost all my friends knew that. They be wondering why I don't go home. They don't know that there's no happiness at home. That's why I don't go. And I wasn't at the library.
you mentioned that your wife got a sponsorship, COS sponsorship, 5 years stay in the UK, and she didn't tell you. How do you find it, and how does that make you feel? That the person that you sponsor to come to the UK as your dependent, you pay for her, you paid for the flight, and you sponsor her through education in Nigeria, and she got sponsorship and she didn't tell you. How did that make you feel?
Well, you don't expect me to be happy about that, because I see that as a betrayal of trust, betrayal of the love I have for her, and betrayal of well, everything, betrayal. That's just how I felt. Then how I got to know, she didn't tell me. I told you that I left the UK December last year. Then I told some of our few friends, because there are some friends that supported us in our community there when we were going, not financially, but with the idea that we share that idea with close friends. So when I got back, the man was shocked seeing me, because the man expected me to have, been in the UK, living with my wife, preparing to bring our children. So we were shocked. So I have to now, explain what happened between myself and my wife to him, how I was, how I got STI, how I got high blood pressure twice. That was even God that saved my life from dying in the UK. So the man said, oh, that he might like to intervene in the matter and settle that this matter between us are little matters that shouldn't lead to this kind of issue of separation and not talking again and all that. I said, well, that you're not a family member, that it is beyond that now, because so, but she was in constant communication with this particular man. I think that man, after the man listened to me, because the man had her number, so the man got in contact with her and like to hear her own view of the story and all that, and she explained. It was in the course of that explanation that she told the man that, oh, she has even gotten COS. So one day I was going, then the wife of one of our neighbor called me. He said, I need to be very careful on who I discuss my matter with. That so man, and that was the same man I spoke with earlier, that so man came to meet her husband, and they were discussing over the fence while she was inside the room beside the window, and she heard all their conversation, that the man was telling the other man, that her husband, that look at me, I'm a mumu man, I'm not even wise at all. I took my wife to the UK because of a little issue, and I got angry and I started coming back to Nigeria. That particular my wife now, that they are giving her 5 years visa now, and Omolomo, that she's just enjoying her life. She's just enjoying her life in the UK now. That I'm a foolish man. I'm a big loser. That was why the wife of that my neighbor told me that. That was why that man she discussed with, that they have even given her. That's how I got to know that they are giving her 5-year visa. She never contacted me. We don't even talk. We don't communicate. So that was how I got to know, sir.
You mentioned that your wife said that the reason she paid for your school fees is because she knew that if she refuses to pay for your school fees, she will her stay in the UK will be cancelled. Do you think she paid for the school fee because she loved you, or because she saw that as a means to remain in the UK?
Oh, she didn't pay. Well, she didn't pay for that school fees because she loved me. She never paid that school fees with happiness. She was, maybe, I don't know, maybe because of the hard work, to get this money in the UK is not easy. Maybe it is due to the hard work, which I told her that, but I'm also supporting with school fees. I'm supporting with children upkeep. I'm supporting with our own feeding here in the UK. So she wasn't happy paying the school fees. Though at a point in time, she need to voice out that I'm not even happy paying these school fees, and I'm not even going to pay your school fees again. She told me direct to my face that she's not going to pay me again. And I said, do you realize that we have a joint visa, that you are my dependent, and the school gave us this, they are our sponsor. If you stop paying, then the school will report us to UK that we had lied to them, to the home office, that we had lied to them, that we have enough fund and all that. That was my explanation to her, because we have our POF, that proof of fund, that we have money to sustain ourselves. So why is it that we are not able to pay for school fees? So that they will report us, and once they cancel that, they don't want to sponsor us again, then we will find our way back to Nigeria. So she wasn't ready to return. She said, no. So that was painfully. She now paid, and that was around April, May last year. That painfully she now paid. She transferred the last money to me, which is 1,560. So it's an installment of 1515 every month, 7 times for us to pay that money finish. So that's how she transferred the £1,500 to me. Then that was how I paid the last one. But from that henceforth, everything change. Everything change.
Okay. What do you say to people, Akim, who say to you that when you marry this woman, she physically attacked you in Nigeria a few years into the marriage, and she attacked you again, that you saw red flag in the beginning, and you decided to carry the same woman to the UK, that yes, maybe you ignore the red sign, that is what happened to you? What do you say to those people that will say that to you?
Not that, you see, we by this time that we are coming to the UK, we already have 4 children then. And then I understand that marriage is not it's full of up and down, that and there's no perfect marriage. So everybody, they are finding a way to mend their own and cope with their own. So far it's not life threatening. Everybody just coping one way or the other. But before we came to the UK, I drew attention to the fact that she has anger problem, and she's always arguing and all that. And she told me that that is because of this Nigerian environment, that is this environment that is affecting her, that she promised me that once we are in the UK, she will change. If nothing of such nature will happen, she will not argue with me, she will support me, she will help me. No, she promised me. This talk was done on her knee in my own room, because it was a 3-bedroom flat. She has her room, our children have one, and they have my own room. So she came to my room and I told her, I drew attention to it. She said, no, lie, that she will never, no. Because I heard about couples that will get to UK and they will change and they will start fighting their husband, do all sorts of things and all that. I said, no, lie, she can never do that to me and all that. And, so what my advice to couple that are planning to bring that, you need to know your spouse very well. You need to know your spouse very well. And, people change, actually. Environment, people change due to so many reasons. I don't know. But that was what my own advice to any couple. Just pray about it and be very sure that you understand your spouse very well. I saw all the red flag, but I know maybe because of the promise she has made, and maybe she will change for better. But I don't know.
If you can live your life again, would you take the same decision you took by bringing your wife to the UK?
No, I will never do that. No, I will never take such a decision. The part of what the very few friends I've discussed my matter with told me was that I should have come on my own. That the effort will not fall. Yes, it might be rough. She might complain. She might disturb me and all that. That the effort will not fall. That I wasn't man enough. That I wasn't man enough. That they are ashamed of me. I said, well, no one is perfect. It has been done. It has been done. But if I have a second chance, I don't think I'll bring such a woman to the UK.
It sounds like you have a regret for bringing her to the UK, and considering the fact that she's got 5 years stay in the UK now, and you're not back in Nigeria. Do you sound like you have a regret?
Well, I wouldn't say I have a regret, because God has been good to me, and I only stay at home. I'm working now in Nigeria. As I'm here, I'm working, so I have no regret.
I'm just saying the way things played out. The way things played out now, given the fact that you said if you had to do it again, you will not bring her back to the UK. It sounds from what you're saying to me now, in the relationship between you and her has broken down, that you got regret for bringing her to the UK.
It's like when you empower your enemy, because it's like empowering your enemy, and or a pretender, somebody that pretends to you, and I felt as if somebody backstabbed me. I sharpened somebody's teeth, and the same teeth I sharpened, the person used that same teeth to bite me. So, but well, because I'm doing good, I'm doing well for myself, I'm not regretting it. I'm just sharing this experience with all of us so that we can learn from my story. It's a very pathetic one.
Thank you so much, Akin. If you've seen any value in this content, don't forget to give it a like and share. Veronica, you can reach out to me on my WhatsApp if you want me to hear from your own side of the story. Akin,